G'day guys, just thought I'd get one more video in before it's 2025. Anyway, what I decided to do, rather than jumping in on, I've got another one of the 5000s to do, as you can see, but what I've decided to do is before I do anyone else, well, I've done my own 45. I know the new chips and whatever else I do for you to have a guess at, work really well. But what I thought, well, I've done a 45. I'm not going to actually just go and hoe in to a 5000 and such. What I'm doing is I'm going to do my 5000, which is this one here. And as you can say, or see, let's say, have another beer, Peter. Yeah, basically, I've redone these stages here. I've put new chips in. That's why they are all sitting in there black without the white paint. I have actually, they're very high impedance input stages on these, so I have actually painted around the input legs on these chips. Realistically, it was bordering on putting in guard rings, but how do I do that? I can't do that because the board's already manufactured. So what I've done, I've actually put those chips in there, cleaned it up as best I can. I've ground the numbers off, and that's probably why it's a bit grey and mucky around there. Because, like I say, it's good enough for Minelab to do, grinding all the numbers off. It's good enough for me. So anyway, what we're going to do this detector and do it as a yardstick, actually. It should be, yeah, you can have that. Everyone comes in and visits me. Okay, it's just past 7:30 in the evening, so I've got another stack of alcohol out there. But what I might do, well, I've got this one here. How about I just fire it up? It's all getting a bit tangled up. Oh dear mate, hang on, twist that around there. Let's go. Get in there. Okay, so there's one mylar in. Let's find the coil. We'll stick the coil in. Not looking at what I'm doing, I'm just going by feel. Should be all right. And yeah, all its seals have jumped out of their spots they're meant to be. I'll get the back. I had to write 5 on that because they all look the same. I don't like plugging. You turn it on, and then it says GPX-5000. It's on a 4500, which actually should show that the Atmel chip here is actually programmed per variants of detector. So anyway, let's have a look here. Give it some power and move the battery that way a bit. Try not to stress out those mylars. Turn on the little booster. I've got the camera in the way to look at the front. I've got no idea where it's set or what it's on. How about we just do a factory reset? Turn it on. Factory reset. Hold the switch down. Okay, that's factory reset. And I'm guessing it's sitting there. Hang on, let me have a look. Okay, and they were sitting there in double D. Anyway, I just flicked in the cancel, and I've got that amplifier absolutely going hard, and I can hardly hear a thing. Hang on, let's turn the... Yeah, that's the detector sitting there, and Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Let's go and do some things to it. Where are we? Okay. I'll put the gain all the way up to 20. So it's sitting in here on a gain of 20. Obviously, it's going to be a bit chirpy because that's a lot of gain. This has this has not got variable gain in it. I'll put the gain back to factory default, which is 12 on these. So it was just pushing it a little bit too far. And I have no idea the tuning. Where's the button? I'm trying to find the button. Try down there. I'll just see where it. Let's turn it down. What does that? Now, just see. We'll see where it ends up. See if it finds a quiet part of the spectrum. Maybe not. We'll get there. Takes forever. It settled on a frequency of 12. Um, so that is what it's done. So anyway, it's got a different front end in it. It has different MOSFETs in the front end, but mainly um, the re-chipping. The thing is, this detector did have a variable gain board in the detector, and I'm seriously thinking about completely dropping the gain of the input stage and way down and putting the variable gain board in and use a couple of buffer amplifier chips just so I don't load the output of the gain stage driving the dual gate VGA chip because they do have low input impedance and most of these op amps are meant to work into, well, they're all happy working into like 2000 ohms odd or something like that, and you want to go and stick 100 ohms on it, it might get a bit cranky uh, the first stage anyway, trying to drive that. So it's always good to unburden your first stage into a buffer stage just to connect the output back to the non-inverting, um, sorry, to the inverting input, and just don't need it going to ground, no ground reference, and just stick the output of your first stage into the non-inverting input and the output straight onto your VGA chip, or however you're going to do it. But anyway, I was going to have a look at this thing and just see how sensitive it is. It's in normal timings. Now, remember I said these detectors are normally a little bit noisy, a little bit, they are. This, I have not increased the gain of this detector whatsoever. So I'm just trying to 0.5. Yeah, it's very, very soft. If you go to a 0.1, it's a different story. Because this one here, of all things, now I'll just get rid of these two other detectors. I'll get rid of that. I'll stick that there, and get rid of that one. Oh, I better not muddle them up. That one goes there, and yep, goes there. Basically, I'll put the oscilloscope on. We'll have a look at this. Oh, hang on, I've got to put the workbench on. It will help. So I just run a coupling loop over there, which I've already got a coupling loop there, good. And it's all out of lock, it's all going crazy. There, let's just adjust a few things, get it back into lock. Oh dear me. Let's try that. Dear me. And I'll invert that. Just ran the wrong way. Hang on a second, I know what's going on. Oh dear, dear. Now head on magnification and it's all out of plumb. There we go. And the channel 2 and hang on, we've got some other. No, that's that. Addition. I don't want that. I want 2. Put 2 down there. So what we need to do is we need to. Hang on a sec. We haven't even got it on the source scope. I had. I must have pushed the wrong buttons in at one stage. It was all out of lock and doing addition. So let's crank this up a bit. And, well, I'll do a trick on this because we can get right in on the waveforms. I'll just do the multiplier on this. So we'll put that there. This gives a, let's look at 50. I don't know if you can see, there's nodules there, which are all 50 hertz, riding in on the waveform. So that actually gives it a little bit of noise. Let's see where we are here. Yeah. Now, remember I was saying how fast that I can get this detector. I don't know if you can actually see that, but I'll zoom in a bit, give you an idea. This is normal timings, and hopefully you can see there. The short pulse is 29.17 microseconds, which normally they're about 35. And this is put this on the frequency of 12. Sorry, I didn't have the backlight on. Now I'm going to turn the backlight on this. Here we go. What's it done? Oh, no. Manual tuning, sorry. I didn't think it'd be 12 and it'd only be 29 microseconds. I'm saying it was, no, the display was set to the gain, which is 12. So let's have a look here. 100. So it wanted to go on about 180, but you can have a look at that move because we put variable frequency into this detector. And I've got it magnified, so we'll just let it do it in the magnification setting. Okay, well that's at 255. Let's see how fast this thing is. I'll get it right in the notch there. Okay, we've got that sitting at 26.26 microseconds on the short pulse in normal mode. Normally 35 microseconds, it's sitting there at 26. And normally if you got these detectors and you stuck it into fine gold, which I'm going to do, and no, the pulses are still there, but they're all different, of course, and it's all gone out of lock because it doesn't like it. But anyway, where are we? There we go. I might crank it down one. But if you have a look here at some of the shorter pulses, I'll put that there, bring that back down. There's one little pulse there, that's 9.7 microseconds. Now, that's not very long. And there is another one there. You can't see it. And if I get right on it there, on the peak, 4.58 microseconds. This is why fine gold is pretty snappy on small targets. It just gives a very quick energy burst. Where I've got the cursor, that's the transmit area, that's where it's transmitting, then it comes in and receives. I can go double into the circuitry and see, you can actually see the receiver turn on and stuff like that. If you have multiple inputs, you can go and look at the dead time, the receiver turning on, the transmit time. And then you can have a look at switching waveforms if you want to use all the channels and have all the inputs, and you can line them all up and see what's going on. But that's the shortest pulse for memory. I'm pretty sure there's not one shorter than that. Well, you know, I have got it cranked. So yeah, there's that one there, which is basically 9. Well, now it's 9. I think it's meant to be 12 normally, and that's one of the normal ones for your bigger size targets. If I bring that back there, stick that there, and we'll go in there. So that's probably meant to be, I don't know, it's probably meant to be 60 or something, but it's 50. But the other thing to take notice of too with these detectors, and let's move that across a little bit. I'll just do it in the gap here, and I really want to. Where are you? Hang on. I was just trying to do the hold off to get it to do something else, but it won't. Anyway, we'll go back here. But anyway, you can see here that transmit comes on. Well, you can't actually see it. A little bit. It's probably needs setting up a bit differently to see it. But take my word for it. That blank bit there is a transmit pulse, and that fine one up there. If I crank the brightness up, that one there is your flyback. But after the flyback, you see the dip down. It's a good idea if you can work on the circuitry to try and get that closer to 0 volts. There are ways of doing it, and we'll just see how we go. Mate, that's all to do with damping and the construction of the coil, actually. A lot of it is. You use different coils, you get a different response, but the damping resistor on these detectors is not optimum for the way it works. It's just a total broad compromise. I think it's whatever it is. It's what is it? 390 ohms or something for memory. I haven't touched one for ages, but they and it's in that part of the circuit where it's very difficult to fiddle with. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah. You could put switch resistors in there, but the lead lengths and stuff cause problems as well, and it's just one of those things. Anyway, let's say at the moment, let's get this. It's cranked up, factory gain. Let's move that over here. So I want to get into the front panel of this thing and have a look at what's going on. So having a look at it, what is it? It's in okay, it's in cancel mode. She's in special fine gold. Yeah, it's in fixed tracking. But the thing is, it's in special fine, and it's on a double D coil, which is an absolute horror of the coil, because what we'll do will make it really hard for the detector is we'll put it into mono. So that's just all the noise in the place in mono, and that's as high in frequency as we can get fine gold. Normally what happens, if you bring fine gold into very extra fast timings and it's not set up properly, the detector just won't work. It desensitizes. But what we'll do, we'll try it with, just with, even with all that noise, we'll try it with, the 0.1. Try the 0.1 on it to see what happens. I'm flicking it across the coil very fast. So there's no trouble with fine gold working. I'll put it back in the cancel. Whoops, wrong one. I always do that. Yeah, so when you're in an electrical workshop, you can't use monocoils. You're just kidding yourself unless you crank the gain right down. If I crank it down to probably 1 or something, yeah, maybe. But it doesn't really prove the point because you want to have the gain up and you want to have the frequency up, and you basically want to stress the detector out in that mode and see if it still works. It's very, very hard when you've got pulses that are so short and sharp and the detector's trying to make sense out of it. You know, they're only 5 microseconds long, or what was it, 4 point something, or whatever it was. You know, it's very, very short. There might be even shorter ones sitting there in fine gold. I really should have a good look through the whole thing. Is that that one there? That one there? Oh, no, that's probably the smallest one. That one there. That's him. Just make 100% sure. So I've expanded the display out a bit. There we go. I'll just hook it onto the flyback there. It does a little bit less than the flyback, but yeah, you know, that's a transmit pulse of 4.58 microseconds, which is there. That is very, very small. So you can't keep cranking the timing faster and faster because you're going to end up with pulses. You know what 2 microseconds long is. What's that going to do? It just doesn't have the speed and the ability to even handle a signal like that. It'll probably upset the whole system and it'll desensitize. So there is a limit how fast you can make it go. So I was having these things, you know, I was getting down to about 28 microseconds and it would just basically clap out when it was getting past that. And now we can get it. I just measure normal timing as a reference, the 35 microsecond pulse, what we get it down to. So we can get that down pretty small, get it down to 26, and the detector still operates after it's had some modifications done to it. So it'd be a ripper of a tiny gold detector. But like I say, we have to optimize all things. There's a lot of switching in this detector that the switching is lossy, relatively speaking, and it is not as quiet as I want it to be. There's newer technology that we can shoehorn into the detector to make it switch better and it can behave better. And when these detectors are doing everything better, your gold count will be better. That is how this works. So a lot of people, there's no big song and dance out there on the internet about it. For some reason, most of our customers keep very quiet. They do pop up on the YouTube channel and say something sometimes, but most of the guys we do are professionals and they don't muck around going on YouTube and saying stuff. I just put it there as a bit of show and tell, bit of education, just to show what can be done with these detectors. So yeah, it's going good. It really is. So, and the other thing too, when I go into normal timings, the detector. This is one thing that you should notice when you use normal timings. The detector is so quiet. It's just sitting there purring away. And as soon as you go to the faster timings with the faster switching actions, that's where a lot of the interference, internal intermod, is developed in the internal switching in the detector. You know, there's no greater amount of noise or anything. You know, we go into enhance smaller waveforms, and I've turned it up. You listen to the chirp. Fine gold is the worst, but enhanced can sit there like so. I'll go in the normal. Noise is about half. Then we'll go into, that's my finger touching it, by the way. Makes noise because it's not grounded. And we'll go into fine gold and listen to the chirp on fine gold. it's double, at least double the noise of enhance. It just is bringing in, as far as I can tell, either it's not as um, you know, sharp on the filters, or bringing the receiver in earlier, which I suspect it's doing, and that will generate noise as it gets closer and closer to that transmitter turn off there. And even the damping on these, like I say, it's not correct, because how can you dampen um, a small pulse like that, and then you say, well, then you got big long ones and a mix of them. Yeah, you really, what you really need is you need timed damping, and I guarantee you it's going to come out in a detector, because I said that. But timed damping, where you can optimize the damping resistor, or even better still, there's a damn patent. Someone put a patent on an active um, variable damping system, but it was based using the resistive region of a power MOSFET, and all you would do is basically just tickle the gate of a MOSFET, so it would give you a across the drain and source. It would partially turn on, because they work in a resistive manner when you do this, and you use the MOSFET as a switched variable resistor, and just by increasing and decreasing the gate voltage, you can optimize the value, or basically simulated value of a resistor across the MOSFET. And by doing that, you can optimize getting rid of the flyback, depending on the criteria of the coil inductance, capacitance, resistance, and how long the pulse went for. Did it saturate coil? Did it not? There's a lot of criteria to take into account, but one damping resistor does not fit all. And the other thing too, with these dual voltage technology, whatever you want to call it, yeah, 5 volts on particular pulses, then you have 15 volts on others. That's going to require a different damping rate or resistance from the flyback as well. All these variables change, or should change, the value of the flyback resistor, but it's sitting there at 390 ohms and says, oh, it should be right, mate. But yeah, it's how they're made. So, who knows what's in those black blocks on the other detectors. Maybe it's got variable damping in there with a MOSFET deeply hidden inside the plastic. But I don't know if they do that, would they? I don't know. I don't think so. There is someone from John, was it? I can't remember. It's John Hopkins or some university's got a patent on it, which I thought was really interesting. And yeah, that's why no one's used it. It'd probably expire soon anyway. It's a long time since I looked at that. So variable damping, in a way, is a good way to go. So that is that. Like I say, it's 8 o'clock now. This is my last video for 2024, and let's turn everything off. And as they say, I think I might go and slam a couple of coldies down. So we will, yeah, I won't be working on this after doing that. I'm waiting another day, and I will do this. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to get this as sensitive as I can. Okay, super sensitive, but it's variable, so I can make it for big deep gold, I can make it for tiny gold. Depends how you set it up, and what you want to stick on it as a coil. And I'll take it out and put it up against the gold monster or something. I think that would be a fair test, wouldn't it? For tiny targets, just bury some tiny targets in the ground and go over it with the gold monster, and go over it with this, with a similar coil. No, actually, I'll use a little bit of a bigger coil to give this one. We'll give the gold monster a bit of an edge. And the gold monster will be it's a double D as well. Remember that. And on this, I'll use a mono. I'll use a 10-inch mono, and an old GP one. Nothing fantastic. So, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Otherwise, everyone will say, it's a bit of waffle. But all good. And what was that? I heard some funny noise over near my computer. That might be the ghosts. Ghosts of 2024. Okay, enough is enough. I want to turn things off, and that's off. I'll unplug this just in case and turn my bench off, and everything should go dark-ish. There we go. So, cheers, guys. Have a good one.